Plaintiff Ayron Brown says she agreed to hook up her childhood friend with regular hair braiding sessions, but he kept stiffing her on the price. She's suing for $2,960. Defendant LeSean Barclay says the plaintiff got it twisted. They never had an agreement for braiding. Plus, he hooked her up with recording time in his studio, so he's countersuing for $4,000.
Ayron, you are suing your childhood friend, LeSean, for $2,960
Yes.
for unpaid hair braiding services.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me about that?
Well, Jerry, this young man is like a brother to me, very much so. I've known him since he was 8 years old. We grew up together in Cleveland, and he needed a braider. Seeing as he's like family to me, I decided that I would be his braider, okay? So we set a schedule for him and his boys to get their hair braided every 2 weeks, and I set a price. And
what did you set the price at?
For 3 heads for him and his 2 boys, it was $140 every 2 weeks. But this has been about a year that this has been going on. Sean makes excuses when it comes time to pay me, okay? He has.
So it wasn't like he paid you every time he showed up?
No, he did not.
Never made an attempt.
He has made, I guess he would call those attempts, but in my eyes, Your Honor, those were like tips after I've done 3 and 4 hours worth of work in his hair. Like he thinks he can just give me a few dollars here or a few dollars there, and you know, I'm a businesswoman. Like I don't work for a few dollars here and a few dollars there.
Yeah.
So I'm here today to see if I can get the balance of a little under a year of worth of braiding his and his boys' hair.
So the $2,960 is?
We calculated about 11 months.
11 months, got it.
Yeah.
Since 11 months.
22 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, about 11 months.
Why shouldn't you pay her?
First of all, when this was originally, talked about, I said, hey, I'm so glad you're moving into town. I want to grow my hair. I want to change.
Yeah.
And as far as the price, there was never a price or even a requirement to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, she's been my family's hairstylist ever since I can remember.
Let's say just working on your head, how long does that take?
Him, maybe about an hour and a half.
Okay.
He has one of his children has locks, which takes about 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
And then he has another child who has long hair. His hair takes about 2 hours.
So we're talking about at least 5 hours.
No.
Fairly. Well, yeah, 2, and 1, it's 5.
That's
the only reason why it ever took so long, because the amount of breaks that she takes to doing everything else around the house.
Well,
you know
okay.
Instead of focusing on my head.
But let's be fair.
Okay.
If she's doing 4 or 5 hours working every 2 weeks, why would you think, even if she hadn't stated the price, let's put that aside for a moment, why would you think she's just going to give you those many hours a week to do that work for free?
That is my reaction every single time before I get out of the chair. So how much are you? What you want to do? You my bro. You
this cool. Is not true.
We cool.
There are texts here where you guys are talking back and forth to each other about you paying her.
Of course, there's been times where I was low on things because I'm a businessman too, and I spend a lot of my money on my business, and sometimes I may need the help, and she's always been down with that.
Because he's like my brother. He's like my little brother. That you put me between a rock and a hard place, asking me to do your hair.
A whole year, Ayron?
For credit.
Come on now. And I've made multiple attempts every single time. And
when you bring your kids in, you make me feel,
It's an admission on your part that
to make a
you were supposed to pay. In other words, because otherwise you wouldn't say, I'm sorry, I can't pay you now.
There was no contracts. There was no
I'm not saying
statement.
there was a written contract. I am saying is there was an understanding based on your texts. I'll get you next time. I'm a little behind now.
I text her.
I'll have some money on Thursday.
And braiding is not easy.
These texts show that you understand.
And I'm communicating with her.
That you owe her money.
That I plan.
That's all I'm asking right now is you agree that you.
One time out of a whole year and a half?
No, not one time.
He thinks that if he sends more clientele to me, that should discredit.
To me, that's a form of payments. I sent you a lot of clientele.
To him, that's a form of payment.
I was in Sandusky way
if he tells
longer than
someone
her.
else that, hey, my sister braids hair,
Because
and
I
they
value your
actually
work,
come to
and
me
I-
and get their hair braided, that I'm supposed to be like, whoop-de-doo, yay, my brother gets more free hairdos because he sent one client to me.
There wasn't a written agreement, man. And you know it wasn't. We never really came to no type of agreement to do
Okay.
any of that. And then after a year, like, why would you wait all this time? And then
So you never asked me what I charge for specific
much
I've
services?
always made
How much
attempts
do
to
you
pay
wind
you,
up
and
paying?
you always tell me I'm good.
I would say he'd given me $100 over the past year.
Oh, wow. $100?
And that's sporadic. That's here and there. That's in installments.
And always in cash?
Cash app, food stamps.
How much do you
referrals?
think? How
stamps.
much did, not referrals, as far
Whatever-
as your
whatever it
money,
takes to
as
get her-
far as your money, how much do you think you paid her?
I mean, throughout the whole year, I mean, she charged me 30 here, 40
I
here.
know, how much did you, about what you paid her?
600. I mean, I have 2 other boys that get their hair done too, and she charged pretty
I
high.
understood.
So
Maybe I'm
that's
not,
not.
me and them together, you know what I mean, throughout a whole year, only $100 within the whole year amongst me and my boys. That's nonsense. Between me and my boys, I made multiple attempts.
and 140 sounds awfully reasonable for 3 people.
Wasn't
I mean,
140.
and I see a lot of nodding heads out there for people that get that done, and you get your hair done.
That is reasonable.
I mean, she's not being unreasonable.
Well, I mean, that's fine. She is really being unreasonable right now because, I mean, all this time since she's been here and she know that I have my own recording studio. And she wants to sing. She loves
That's
to do
your
covers.
countersuit. On the suit, though, I'm not going to give you $29.60. I am going to give you $2,000. So I find for the plaintiff in the sum of $2,000. Okay, let me hear your countersuit.
Well, my thing is this. The times that she spent in my studio, I could have had a paying customer in there. And I didn't. Because she was here, I was, you know, she do my hair. I most definitely like, you know, it's
So she's in your
and she's
recording.
really great singer.
I never asked him for studio time.
You never asked me studio time.
I'm a
even with
braider. That's what I do for a living. I'm not an aspiring singer. I'm a braider. He wants
That
my
is-
voice on a track so that he can manipulate it so that it'll sound good with one of his beats. That's what he wants.
So he asked you to
So he-
come to the studio.
So he asked me to come in and can you do a sample for me so I can put it on this song? Can you do a sample for me so I can do it on this song? I don't have time to come into your studio.
Your Honor, it's
I
2
don't-
years, okay, when she been here. She been in my studio, okay, the whole time she been here.
Yes, I've been in there.
She's definitely been
I've
there
been in
and
there just
recorded
to have a drink.
for free. She's
I've been in
definitely
there just to
recorded
have a
for you.
drink. I'm not in there recording every time I'm in the studio. And I've never recorded for myself.
She most definitely recorded for herself. She has 2 covers that she wanted to do.
Wanted.
Yeah,
was
that
the
she
key
wanted to
word.
do, and she
Wanted.
can't. And I told her, you know, this is
Did
what
not
I
do.
charge, you know, for my studio time. You know,
And did
so
you-
I do
did you
charge for
record
studio
those
time.
covers?
No, we made one song, and it's called "Got a Lot of Hoes." That's the one song we ever made. He was not charging me for this. This was
This
something
is
that he
Got
and I
a Lot of Hoes.
Got a lot of hoes. Okay, and then
That was
together.
played at my senior prom.
I bet.
I have a track here, Jerry.
A track for her?
It was a track that we worked on alongside with my son.
Can we
And
hear it?
Sure.
It's,
I'm not on that.
Is
I'm
that
not
the-
on that.
She was supposed to lay her part, but she.
oh, well, if she's... okay.
I'm not on that.
LeSean, if she's not on it, come on. Okay.
Yeah.
That was very nice, and I
That
hope
was,
one day you
I
get
love
on
it. I feel like it's a beautiful song, but I'm not on it.
All right, this is what I think is reasonable. On your countersuit, there has to be evidence that you were doing these recording sessions for her aspiring career. So I find for the plaintiff in the sum of $2,000, countersuit dismissed. Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry.
Hope you have. I'll go elsewhere, and I have went elsewhere. About a good month ago, when I had to go elsewhere.
If Sean comes to me within the next 2 weeks asking me to braid his hair, I would tell Sean to go to the lady that he's been going to. He claims he went to a month ago when I was still braiding his hair.
When plaintiff Tapeka Brown came into some money, she was happy to give her friend a loan. However, she claims she hasn't gotten a dime back, so she is suing for $5,000. Defendant Krista was banking on her tax return in order to pay the loan back, But when she came up short-handed, she claims her friend had no problem with it, so she doesn't owe.
Let me start with you, Tapeka. What relationship do you guys have?
Krista used to be my home health aide 7 years ago, and we became really, really good friends even after she stopped working for me.
And you're suing her?
Yes.
What do you do to your enemies? No, but
I don't have many enemies.
I know. But why are you suing her?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first I loaned her $6,000. Never paid it back.
$6,000.
Yep. She never paid it back. Okay. Like I said, I met her 7 years ago. She was my home health aide because I am disabled.
Yes.
And she came to work for me. And I don't know if you know, but when you have a home health aide, they solely just do everything for you. They're in all your business because they're in your house.
Sure.
I'm blind, so I don't know exactly what she's doing, so you have to trust.
Exactly.
So
Okay, I'm aware of those.
Yeah,
Yes,
gave her
yes.
my credit card. If you asked her today, she has my credit card information in her phone.
Yes.
Never used it. Okay.
So she's been very trustworthy. is what
Very,
you're saying.
very
Go ahead.
trustworthy.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, me and Tapeka have always had such a great relationship.
Yeah.
And yes, she did lend me $6,000.
So back in 2019, well, Krista, she was pregnant, but September 2019, I had came into some money. I had insurance, homeowners insurance payment. And my husband and myself, we went on Facebook, you know, being silly. We posted all the money that we got once I cashed the check.
I think we have that. Let me take a look.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Those $100 bills?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so we took the pictures, and a couple days later, she calls me. Like I said, I knew she was pregnant and everything. She calls me, and she's like, well, you know, I have to take maternity leave, and since I haven't been at this job very long, they're not going to pay me for being off. And my parents are making me move out the house, and yada, yada, yada. She gave me this sob story. Being a good person that I am, I knew she needed money. I loaned her money. We came up with an amount that she needed, $6,000. I didn't have any qualms about it because I have loaned her money before, and she's always paid it back before the due date. So I said, okay, well, just come pick it up. She came and got the money. That was in September of 19.
Yeah.
The agreement was she was supposed to pay me back with her tax money. Had no problems with that either.
Tell me about that agreement. Is there a written document, or
No.
was it a conversation?
It was a conversation that we had. We've never had written documents, you know, for anything.
Okay, because you were friends. And who brought up the issue that she would pay you back with her tax refund?
She did.
Okay, so she said to you, I'll pay you back with my refund.
She said, I'll give it up. First she said, well, do you want partial payments? I say no. She's like, well, I'll just give it all back to you in January, which
Okay.
was fine with me.
Okay.
January came, January went.
Yeah.
So in February, I'm like, hey, Krista, did you do your taxes yet? And she was like, yeah, I did them. She said, but I have bad news. I'm like, uh-oh. She said, well, you know the guy I've been dating that's this, you know, my son's father? I said, yeah. She said, well, I never told you, but we got married. I said, oh, boy.
Because of me getting married and filing jointly with my husband, we did not end up getting what I had expected to get back with our
Right.
taxes.
Yeah.
So no money. My husband and my family, everybody's telling me, this girl's taking advantage of you. I didn't want to believe it. You know, they say she's using you, she's taking advantage, you're never going to see that money. I'm like, oh, yes, I am, because Krista's a good person.
That being said, I did give her the $1,000.
Yeah.
And when I went to go drop off the money to her, we sat and we had a conversation. And you know, I'm like, Tapeka, I do apologize. $1,000 is what I can give you. And she was like, okay, no problem. That's fine. Like, you've helped me a lot in the past. You've been there for me. You've done things for me. You know, no problem. Don't worry about it. It is what it is.
No, she was supposed to pay me with the PUA money.
So with me hear her say that, I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, I'm taking that as like, you scratched my back, I'm gonna scratch yours. You're off the hook.
Not $5,000 worth.
Then
That's
you
a lot
didn't
of-
make that clear. You didn't make that clear to Tapeka. She didn't make that clear to me.
$5,000 is one
Your
hell of an
Honor.
itch.
It's one hell of an inch.
That's scratchy.
Your
Yeah.
Honor, this girl has been to Jamaica, Florida, Gallenberg, Tennessee. She had weight loss surgery. I mean, I feel like she took this is right after I loaned her money, okay? So I feel that part of my money went to her living her best life.
So just because I'm in debt with you doesn't mean I can't live my life and take care of
Krista,
my
but when you
family
got
and do what I'm
obligations, you pay
supposed
that,
to do
you
for
pay your
myself?
obligations first. You know, I mean, when she's going on vacations, at least if you're using my money, hell, invite me.
At the end of the day, I
I
Let me
have
hear
my
from-
family.
Can I
invite
hear
me.
from your husband and your name, sir?
My name's Stacy.
Yes, Stacy. What can you add to this?
Oh, I can add a whole lot, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Flat out, cut back on my birthday present, cut back on my Christmas present. 'Cause she ain't got the money because she decided to be nice and loan it out while somebody got some new outfits on over there.
New outfits, new cars,
But,
trips, everything.
I mean,
Here's what I see. You guys have been friends for a long time, years.
We have.
Okay.
Yes.
In one respect, life isn't that complicated. If everyone would simply live by the rule that your mother taught you when you were a kid, just be nice. If there was a written contract, which would take it out of just being friends, and it specifically says, if I get the tax refund, you will be repaid. But it wasn't like that, and I can understand why. You're friends. Just the right thing to do. And I don't have to look up laws. If you were sitting where I'm sitting now and you heard this case, you'd say, you know what? $5,000. The moral obligation is she should be paid back. I don't need to tell you that. You know it. I know you're a good person. I'm happy you're married now and you've got a child. The decision I'm making is exactly the decision you would make with your own child. And for that reason, and you want to get your Christmas present next year, you know, I just think it's right to say that you owe her $5,000, and this court finds in favor of the plaintiff for $5,000.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. When she said she figured since she paid $1,000 back, it was cool, that total lie.
Because my husband, who was paying for the vacation, told me that we're going on vacation. So why would I say no to going on vacation just because I'm in debt with somebody that has nothing to do with my money?
You know, I love her, and I just want her to go back to how she used to be before she got with her so-called husband.